you got to do the same. You handle the ball. You got to hit the ball.
Downtown Bobby.
So we went to the finals last year.
And curve, put them back. At least when I'm going out on strike. He strikes down me and I pull.
Guys who are obsessive sophomore players, they want a game. Every minute they want to play. They sit at home and they're known. They're softball junkies. It's known, you know, that Joe Glass, a great player, if you can get him, he'll play for you anytime. So you got a decent team. He won't play for lousy teams. No good softball player wants to play for a lousy team. But you call him and say, Joe, you got a game this afternoon? No. Hey, I can use a guy. I can use a guy in center field. Can you come out? Yeah. What time? There are guys like this who play 150 games a summer. Well, when you consider that, that's all a Major League Baseball player plays, and he doesn't do anything else. Well, this guy may be a baggage handler. He may work in a factory 8 hours a day, and he still will squeeze 150 games a summer in. Every day after work he will play because he loves it. He loves it. He loves that moment when the bat hits the ball and he gets the fast jump in center field and he's moving and he leaps up and makes that over-the-shoulder catch. I mean, that's it. It's the fun. It's the fun of the game. If you work for the state of Chicago Police Department, it's very easy to put together a great team. All cop teams are good teams because they're made up primarily of native-born Chicagoans who played softball, macho males, and it's easy to put out a good company team. If you play for a company like mine that has a very relatively small number of people, and a lot of them are Ivy Leaguers who aren't very good at softball because they don't want to hurt their hands, then it's very hard to put out a good softball team. So my team is not a pure Sun-Times team. No, I admit there are people on my team who may not work for the Sun-Times. I mean, a ringer is somebody you bring out, a special player you may pay for a money game. Well, we don't have guys like that. And my ringers are really, my best players are not ringers. I mean, the best player on my team is obviously me, and I'm not a ringer. But I do have a couple guys who don't earn all their income working for my team. The greatest team 5 years ago in America was a team called the Strykers. They were the defending national champions. They were the greatest team you ever saw. And so one weekend, the following year, their manager, who was also my chief ringer, called me and said, we need a pitcher this weekend. I said, who needs a pitcher? Hey, Sammy, get around. So I said, you need a pitcher? Me? She says, yeah. We're in a big tournament, important tournament. We got to have a pitcher. So I went out, and here I am, pitching for the Strykers against a super team. Because they played nothing the super. These teams, the super teams all play super teams. And we won. We played another game in the afternoon. We won. Now we got to play in the evening. And I'm high. Woo, I'm high. Because I'm not only pitching, but I'm hitting. I was 2 for 3 in both games. So we go out that night and we win again. Oh man, no, I did it. I pitched for the Strykers. Well, we went out and had a few drinks. Now my family's in Wisconsin. I have a summer home in Wisconsin. So now I got to go from the suburb to Wisconsin. I don't know how to get to Wisconsin from the suburb. So we have a few beers, and I take off for Wisconsin. I get lost. And it's very easy to get lost in Wisconsin. Wisconsin all looks alike. So I'm driving around, and I see this sign that says Roadhouse. Pull in, go, and I want directions. While I'm there, I have a drink. Got my uniform on with a jacket over it. A Strykers uniform. World champion Striker. So I got my jacket on. So I go and have a drink. And I asked the guy for directions, give me directions. And like all Wisconsin rural roadhouses, everyone's there. You know, teenagers shooting pool, adults eating dinner, drunks drinking. And everybody goes to the saloons in Wisconsin, little town. So finally the bartender says to me, what, you been playing softball? I said, no, I always walk around with spikes on my shoes, went fishing. I haven't been playing softball. He said, where do you play? I said, Chicago. He said, what do you play, 12-inch, 16? I said, 16-inch. He said, "Oh, we play 16-inch up here." I said, "So really? I didn't know they played with guns." "Yeah, we got a decent team. The Pell City Dannons. Did you ever hear of us?" I said, "The Dannons? Have I ever heard of the Dannons?" "The Dannons are the only non-Chicago team ever to finish in the top 3 in the Nationals. You have a super team. You finished 3rd last year in the Nationals. You have a marvelous team." And he says, "Hey, he knows about our team." And everybody in the bar gets excited because a guy knows about their team. And they're all running up and saying, "You know about our team, huh? You know, we got a great team. We finished 3rd in the Nationals, blah, blah, blah." And they're all excited. And so we're all talking about how good the Dannons are, and they're good because they have Chicagoans who go up there and play on their team. So then the bartender, in a pause in the conversation, says, "Who do you play for?" I said, "Who do I play for?" Zip. The Strykers, national champion. And they go, "My God! He's a striker!" Because when they finished 3rd, the Strykers finished 1st, and they got hysterical. People running up to me saying, "He's a striker! Oh my God, he's a striker! Let me shake your hand. Oh, you're a striker!" And people were running up, "Give him a drink. He's a striker!" And it was. I knew then how it felt to be Mickey Mantle or Willie Mays. They were just blew their minds. But finally, this old geezer standing in the bar, and he looks over at me. He said, "What the hell position do you play?" I said, "Well, I don't play ever. I pitch occasionally."
The game really got started in Chicago around
when I grew up. There was big league softball in Chicago. You had stadiums, the old Windy City League. You go out and pay a dime to get in. See 3 games. But every neighborhood in the city played 16-inch softball. My father owned a saloon. My father sponsored the team. And this was big time. When you lived in a neighborhood where a guy sponsored a serious team, I mean, a kind of team where you'd say, "We're going to play a South Side team. We're a North Side team, and we're playing a South Side team." And this is maybe 1941. And we're playing for $100. Now, $100, $50 was a damn good salary in those days. $100, you were an executive. We're talking about like $1,000 today. And when the word would go out to the neighborhood, the Blue Sky Lounge team is playing the Purple Snakes from 63rd Street, a bunch of Lithuanians. Then, you know how many people would come out for the game in the neighborhood? 2,000-3,000 people. And this was the biggest event of the month, maybe the year. This was a big deal. And, you know, you run up and down, pass the hat, collecting money. Collecting money. What are you collecting money for? We're collecting money. And the guys throw nickels in and pennies in there. Well, what you collect money for is a drink afterwards. You never told people you collected money for. And they automatically, you know. That's the way America was 40 years ago. They throw the money in. And you'd have this incredible game. Hopefully you would win it. I got to play on that team. Of course, my father owned it, but I was still good enough to make it. And it was the greatest thrill of my life as a kid, playing on my old man's saloon team, because these were great ball players. We had a first baseman, Joe Gabrowski, who wound up played 14 years in the NBA, National Basketball Association. Elbows Joe was my father's first baseman. Never went to college. The reason he quit high school was my old man would serve him beer. He figured, why do I go to college? I can get beer right here.
When did they give it up?
No. I'm going to play softball. Well, as long as I'm the manager, I'm going to play. Because I always write out the lineup. I say Royko, pitcher, batting 10th. And I think that what is eventually going to happen is I'll come up in a game where we're down by 4 runs. Now 3 runs. We'll be down by 3. That'll be the last half of the 7th inning. 2 outs. The bases will be loaded. And I'll come up to the plate. And they're going to look at me and say, well, the old geezer's up. So they'll come in a little. and I'm going to rip one over the left fielder's head. And I'm around third, and the winning run, and just as I approach home plate, I fall over dead right on the plate.
Or you wake up.
And they'll hold a wake right there. I came up against Andy Crane in the last half of the last inning when I pumped a home run. And I'll tell you, that the Pulitzer Prize didn't compare with the kick I got as I was coming around third.